honestly at my breaking point with this situation, and I need to know if I'm in the wrong. Here's the story. A few months ago, I was finally in a position to buy a new car after my old one broke down for the last time. It had been a piece of crap for ages, and I was so ready for something more reliable. I'm not car savvy at all, so I did a ton of research to make sure I wouldn't get scammed. After weeks of looking, I found what seemed like the perfect used sedan at a small family-owned dealership in my area. The car had low mileage, a clean history report, and the dealership gave me this whole inspection sheet saying the car was in perfect condition. The guy at the dealership even told me that it was a rare find and that the price was a steal considering the car's condition. He made me feel like I was getting this amazing deal that I couldn't pass up. I was hesitant at first, but everything looked good. I even test drove the car and it seemed fine, no weird noises, no obvious issues. So I bit the bullet and bought it. I had to stretch my budget, but I thought it was worth it to finally have a reliable car. Oh, how wrong I was. The first few days were fine, but then things started to go downhill fast. The brake pedal started feeling off, and I noticed a strange grinding sound every time I used the brakes. Then the check engine light popped on. Then the air conditioning went out, and it was the middle of summer. I tried to ignore it at first, thinking maybe it was just some small issues, but then it just kept getting worse. The car began stalling, making rattling noises, and the steering started feeling stiff. I finally took it to a trusted mechanic to get it checked out, and what he told me almost made me cry. The car had multiple major issues: leaking coolant, severely worn out suspension, almost no brake pads left, and signs of a previous accident that had never been mentioned by the dealership. They had lied to me, blatantly. This car was a ticking time bomb, and I was the one stuck with it. To make matters worse, the mechanic said that the inspection the dealership gave me was a complete joke. There was no way they didn't know about the issues, and they sold it to me anyway. I called the dealership immediately, and that's when everything went from bad to worse. The guy I'd bought the car from acted like I was the problem. He told me I should have noticed the issues during the test drive. I drove it for 20 minutes. How was I supposed to know about a broken suspension? And he started blaming me for not buying an extended warranty. I was furious. They had lied to me, sold me a lemon, and now they were gaslighting me. I asked for a refund or at least a partial reimbursement, but of course they refused. They just flat out didn't care. I had spent a lot of money on this car, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I couldn't just let it go. I was heartbroken and angry at myself for trusting these people, but I was also pissed that they were getting away with it. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. I started with the online reviews. I posted an in-depth, detailed review on Google, Yelp, Facebook, and every platform I could find, sharing exactly what happened with the car and how the dealership had lied to me. I posted screenshots of the inspection sheet, photos of the car's issues, and even receipts from the mechanic. I wanted everyone to know exactly what kind of people I was dealing with. But it didn't stop there. I began to dig deeper. I contacted consumer protection groups, filed complaints with the Better Business Bureau, and reached out to my state's Attorney General's office. I even went to local news outlets and shared my story with them. I made sure to emphasize how the dealership had not only sold me a dangerous car, but had also refused to take responsibility for it. I wanted to make sure they felt the weight of what they had done to me, and to anyone else they had sold a car to. The revenge didn't feel sweet at first. It felt like I was drowning in frustration. But as the weeks went on, I started seeing the results. Negative reviews started flooding in. People started commenting on my posts, sharing their own terrible experiences with the dealership. I kept pushing, making sure they couldn't escape the damage I was causing. Then one day, I got an email from the dealership's owner. He apologized and offered me a partial refund, claiming he had never intended for me to have such a bad experience. But it was too late for that. I'd already aired their dirty laundry, and people were seeing them for what they really were. I'll admit, it felt amazing to watch them squirm, but now that things have settled down, I'm feeling some guilt. Maybe I went too far. I didn't just leave a bad review. I took their reputation apart piece by piece. I'm wondering if I overreacted or if I was justified in exposing them. So, AITA for seeking revenge on this dealership and trying to ruin their business over a bad car purchase?